Om Vivekachudamani of Shankaracharya, 406th verse. Ananyatvam adhishthanat aropyasya nirikshitam panditai rajju sarpadav vikalpo bhranti jivanah. So something which is superimposed upon something else. Aropya, aropana. It's called superimposition. There is the classic example in Vedanta. There is a dark room, there is a coiled rope, and people mistake it to be snake. That is the superimposition. On rope, snake has been superimposed. Similarly, on Brahman or on God, this universe has been superimposed. Ananyatvam adhishthanat aropyasya nirikshitam. So if a person nirikshana does, observation, careful observation of this, if a person does, then that person understands that it is identical, ananyatva, it is ananya, it is identical with the substratum or with the basis. So there is rope and you see snake on it, but there is no difference between snake and rope because there is no snake. There is rope, and because of rope you see snake, but there is no snake actually. And there is no difference between snake and rope there because there is only one material, rope. Similarly, in this world, there is only one truth or ultimate divine principle. There is no variety like we see so many things that we see because of our ignorance. That's what Vedanta says. We see that because of ignorance. So, panditaihi, people who are pandita. What does it mean? Pandita means people who are wise, who have thought about things. Panditaihi. They carefully analyze this, that whether it is rope or whether it is snake. And then they finally understand that it is identical. Rajju sarpado vikalpo bhranti jivanaha. And so this vikalpa, this difference, is just because of error. It's an error. It's a wrong understanding of things. So from very distance, when you travel on a highway, you see there is water. In an afternoon, you see water. When you go near, there is no water. So that is what? That is error. In our day-to-day activities, we see somebody and then we think that, oh, this person is very good. And then we get the blow. We get blows, we understand that the person is not good at all. That person is very harmful. But what do? We are not pandita. We are not wise people. We go for another person and think that person will be good. So in a person's life, there will be like 15, 20 persons they would have mixed with and they would have got beaten up or hurt. But still they will do this. Why? Because pandita. We are not pandita. We don't have that observation. We don't have that wise understanding. Again and again we do the same mistake. Chitta mulo vikalpoyam chitta abhavena kaschana ataschittam samadehi pratyag rupe paratmani. So you see, the whole cause of all problem is the mind. Cause of all problem is mind. Ayam vikalpaha chitta mulaha. Behind these apparent universe, this so much variety we see and so much of bad and good experience we get, behind that or in the base of that, in the root of that, what is there? Mind. Mind is at the root of that. Chitta mula. And chitta abhavena kaschana. And you see, all these things will all get destroyed when there will be no mind. Without mind, nothing will exist. All these things, nothing will exist. Chitta abhavena kaschana. And so, ataha chittam samadehi. So, you have to destroy the mind. You have to dissolve the mind in samadhi by concentrating it on pratyag rupe paratmani. You have to concentrate this mind on the supreme self. Para Atmani, Supreme Self, God or Brahman or the ultimate truth. You have to concentrate on that, and that is Pratyak Rupa, means that is the innermost essence of everything. Only that exists. If you concentrate on that, automatically your mind, automatically means by years of concentrating, your mind will go into samadhi and your mind will get destroyed. When we go into deep sleep, there is no mind. In deep sleep, there is no mind. That is why we don't see any dreams. And then we again come back because of ignorance. So, similarly, there we don't have any problem in deep sleep because there is no interaction. Similarly, if we can concentrate our mind on the ultimate reality, then our mind is destroyed, and then we are able to get rid of all these varieties of this universe, all these different kinds of experiences of this universe, and so we get eternal peace. Kimapi satata bodham kevala ananda rupam nirupamam ativelam nityamuktam niriham niravadi gaganabham nishkalam nirvikalpam hridi kalayati vidvan brahma purnam samadhav. So, kimapi satata bodham, a person who is vidwan, hridi kalayati vidvan brahma purnam samadho. The vidwan or a wise man, kalayati, realizes, sees in heart, in one's heart. Heart means not the physical heart, but spiritual heart. Brahma purnam samadho, sees the infinite purnam brahma, infinite Brahman or ultimate reality in samadhi. In samadhi, that person sees, wise person. And how is that? Kimapi satata bodham, that is something which cannot be expressed. Kimapi, something. It is, in Bengali you say kichu ekta, means because we cannot express it. We cannot say whether it is living, non-living, whether it is male, female, etc. So something it is, kimapi, which is satata bodham, which is of the nature of bodham, knowledge, but eternal knowledge. All our empirical knowledge, all our day-to-day knowledge of sciences, philosophy, etc., this kind of material or secular knowledge is what? It is not eternal. It keeps on changing. Today they will say there are 9 planets. Then they will say no, there are only 8 planets. Okay, now how many planets are there?
9.
8.
8, okay. Which one is this?
Not okay. 8.
Because they have taken out Pluto's status. But they have discovered the 10th planet, then it becomes 9 again.
10th, but that has not yet got that planetary status.
No, because in the paper they were there.
But still they have not put it as a planetary status.
Yeah.
It is under consideration.
Yeah.
What is that name also? Some name is there also.
There was some number.
Number.
You and some number.
Number. So that is what, it's not yet decided. But as of now there are 8 planets. We studied in school that there were 9 planets. Navagraha. So now they say, but nobody knows. Then they suddenly will come and tell, no, it is 9. So this keeps on changing. Somebody says there is black hole. Somebody says there is no black hole. Somebody says black hole sucks everything. Somebody says no, it does not suck anything. So these things keep on changing. That is why they are not eternal. But this knowledge of the ultimate reality is not like that. It is eternal knowledge. Satata bodham. Satata means it is always. It is eternal. It is not changing. Kevala ananda rupam. And it is of the nature of absolute bliss. So morning, what is the bliss? If I get a cup of coffee or if I get a cup of tea, that is bliss. I was sitting there. Not even one cup of tea I got. So very much morning itself, then that person goes to office and the first person that person sees will be blasted. Okay, so then this is, now what to tell? In house you cannot say whether better half or bitter half. You cannot tell anything to the person. Otherwise everything will be in confusion. But in some places we can say office, or while traveling to office in bus, they'll say, something they will say. That means in the morning the breakfast or something has not happened properly. So Kevala Anandam is not there. It all depends on whether you get something, how the climate is, whether it is humid or less humid, whether people are behaving with you properly. All these depend, your happiness or misery depends on all these things. But this is not like that. Once you realize the ultimate truth, then it will be Kevala Anandam. It's absolute bliss, which is not going to change and is not dependent on anything. And it is Nirupamam. It has got no parallel. When we go to some place or when we eat something, we say, oh, it was like Amrita. Though nobody has eaten Amrita. But they will all say that, use this analogy. Or you go to some place, oh, this was like heaven. Have you been to heaven? No. But then how do you compare? So mostly our comparisons also are not very correct. But sometimes we say, oh, this was like so nice. I ate that sweet and it was like this sweet. Or it was like that thing. So we compare. I went there and I felt so happy, just like I felt happy when I went other place. So we compare. But in this knowledge, there is no upama, there is no comparison. There is no. So it is called Nirupamam. And Ati Velam, it has no Vela, means it has no limitation, no boundaries. It is beyond boundaries. So people, they have boundaries. In office they will be somebody. In house they will go and become somebody else. Outside they are somebody. So you have a boundary in which you have a different kind of personality. In the office maybe you are in a big post and you have some clout. When you come to house, nobody cares. So no post, no clout and all this. But that is, here there is nothing other than Brahman. There is nothing other than this divine principle. So when there is nothing other than this divine principle, automatically there will be no limitations, no boundaries. And Nityam Muktam, Nitya Muktam, always free. Your freedom is not dependent on any particular event or person or any particular thing or object. Whereas in our day-to-day lives, what do? It is we who do that. We consciously depend for our freedom on a particular thing. If I had 100 crores, then I would have been free. That is a wrong kind of thinking which we ourselves make. If you are given 100 crores, then also you will say, oh, this is not sufficient. Because you are thinking that your freedom or your enjoyment or your happiness is limited by something. That limitation who gives? You give. Even a person may become the president of the United States of America, but that person also will say, only if I had this, then it would have been better. So there also that person has some limitation. That means this limitation is imagined by you. But here, once you realize Brahman or the ultimate reality, you have no more limitations. Nityam, Nitya Muktam. You are ever free. And Niriham. And you are without any activity. You don't have any activity. Because, you see, if there is only you, there is nobody else. What happens in house? Suppose there is wife goes away. Then husband is all happy. Now I will only yesterday or day before yesterday, one Maharaj was telling. A devotee called him and said, Maharaj, my wife has gone away. So now what I have done? What are you doing? No, I have simply removed my shoes and thrown it that side and taken my shirt and thrown it another side, and now I am sitting on my cot and eating chop. All these things are not possible if wife is there. Khate chop khave. What is this? All things you will eat on this cot and spoil the place. So now he is so happy. Like that. So wives are also happy when husbands go. Only they don't maybe tell, maybe within themselves, oh, Baba, now for some days I am very happy, free. So that kind of freedom. This is not like that. And there, so you don't need to do now anything. Why? Because there is no wife no nothing. So you do things, and you are also having vacation. So you do things in your own time. You get up early morning, 10 o'clock, like that, or 11 o'clock, and you don't take bath also, maybe. Like that you will be, because no botheration, no activity. But when you realize that only you are there, all this is ignorance, then there is no need to do activity. Activity, even if you are alone, then also you will do something. Like this person, he was eating chalk or something. But activity comes because of desire. All activity comes because of desire. And if mind is not there, there will be no desire. And when there will be no desire, you will not act anything. Because you don't need to act. See, for activity, there is a thing on which activity is done, and a person who does the activity. Suppose you have to study something, so there should be a book and a person who is studying the book. Suppose you have to, a doctor, you have to treat a patient, there should be a patient, then only you can treat. That is what activity is. And so when you realize that there is no two apart from you, the ultimate reality, nothing else exists, then there is no activity. Niravadi Gaganabham. And it is like the Gagana, sky, limitless. This sky, what you see is actually atmosphere. You don't see the sky. That's why we see it in blue color. Sky is not blue. Sky is black. But we see it blue. Why? Because there is atmosphere in between. When you go into the space, you see everything is black. And there is no limit. Nobody has found any boundary of space. There can be no boundary. So, like that, you will understand that your true nature is like that, like limitless sky, and nishkalam, and it is indivisible. There is no kala, means no division. Nirvikalpam, and it is absolute. Then Shankaracharya says, Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam, Bhavanatita Bhavam, Samarasam Asamanam, Manas Sambandha Duram, Nigama Vachana Siddham, Nityam Asmat Prasiddham, Hridi Kalayati Vidwan, Brahma Purnam Samadho. A person who is Vidwan, wise man, he realizes in his heart, Hridi Kalayati realizes Purnam Brahma, the infinite Brahman, through Samadhi. What does he realize? Prakriti Vikriti Shunyam. You see that this whole world is in reality free from cause and effect. Cause and effect. It is free from cause and effect. Prakriti, Vikriti. Prakriti means cause. In this context, Vikriti means effect. So this whole universe in reality is free from cause and effect. So why are we suffering? Because we have put ourselves into the chain of cause and effect. If I go and work, then I will get salary. If I get salary, only then I am happy. If I have a Mercedes, only then I will be happy. If I have a flat, only then I will be happy. So this is the cause and effect cycle we have put into ourselves into. Bhavana atita, but the reality, ultimate reality, God, is beyond this. And bhavana atita bhavam. And this reality is beyond all imagination. Bhavana. You cannot imagine this reality. You can imagine so many things. Why can't we imagine this? Because it cannot be perceived by our senses. It is beyond our senses. If you touch, smell, hear, listen, or taste, etc., all these things, see, then you have an idea of some particular object. And when you see dreams also, this is just a permutation combination of what you have already seen in the waking state. It's not nothing new you see in dream. Same things. Only thing is, suddenly you will see a monkey with an elephant head or something like that. This will happen. Why? Because your mind is now then taking its own liberties. But you have seen a monkey, you have seen an elephant. And that the mind is combining, mixing. But you have never understood, or people have not understood the true reality, and so it cannot be imagined. There is nothing with which to compare. So there is nothing we can imagine. Samarasam asamanam. And also there is no match for this, asamanam. And it is samarasam. It is homogeneous. So modern cosmologists, physics will say that this universe is also homogeneous. The universe is ever expanding, homogeneous universe. So that physics also accepts that. So the ultimate reality is also samarasam, homogeneous, and mana sambandha duram, and it is beyond duram, beyond mana sambandha, proof, beyond any proof. Why? All our proofs are based on our sense perceptions. So your first proof is direct perception. I have seen, I have touched it, so I know that it exists. Other thing is, I have seen that wherever there is fire, there is smoke. So here there is smoke, so there should be fire. That is called anumana. Like that, there are 6 types of proofs. All these proofs are directly or indirectly connected with direct perception. But since you cannot see the ultimate reality through eyes, etc., there are no proofs. This you have to realize oneself. And Nigama Vachana Siddham, and it is established, Siddham, by Nigama Vachana, by the statements of Vedas. And it is, and if that is the case, if it cannot be seen, it cannot be imagined, it cannot be proven, then how do we know that it exists? Just because Vedas say, how can we accept that it exists? So it is told, Nityam Asmat Prasiddham. You see, even a person who gets what is called as complete amnesia, completely forgets everything, simply wipes out the brain. That person also does not forget one thing. What? I consciousness never goes away. That person says, who am I? Somebody gets severe form of Alzheimer's. The person forgets everything, name, parents, everybody he or she forgets. But that person asks, who am I? Who am I? This question will come. So I does not go. That person does not ask, who is this? That person asks, who am I? So that I consciousness is what is the indicator that there is an ultimate reality, that you are not this body and mind. That I is the indicator. Even today, science has not found out why this happens. Why is it that even when a person has completely lost every memory, this I thing does not go away? So there is no explanation as of now, till today. Maybe in the future they will find out, but till now we don't have any explanation to that, for that. So that is what Shankaracharya says, Nityam Asmat Prasiddham. So that is what is the ultimate reality. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat.